Broker Moods is brought to you by FNArena. Insights, data, quality over noise. Subscribe now at FNArena.com.
All right, let's get more from the man himself. Rudy Philippek van Dijk from FNArena joins me now. And Rudy, let's kick it off with one of your favourites, TechOne. What are the brokers saying?
I keep thinking, who's that beautiful looking man that appears there on the screen? Needless to say, there's a difference in a few days back what happened to the share price and what is happening at the moment. I mean, people know my affiliation with TechOne. It is one of the best growth stocks on the stock exchange, now part of the top 50 in Australia. It's a view that is widely shared by the multiple analysts that are covering that sector and the company in particular. The only discussion is, of course, like how much do you pay for that privilege to be on the register, and that at times keeps the investment community a little bit divided. We had results this week. They didn't please everyone on every item, and we saw the share price being sold off. Hence, but here we are 2 days later, and the share price is now going in the other direction. Not everyone is equally as enthusiastic as Shaw, but there are some big fans out there. And Shaw, who previously had been more cautious, predominantly valuation-based, they've now flipped their jacket and they've now gone to buy and increase their price target as well, still well above today's share price.
All right, let's move into what we're seeing in the telcos, because obviously there's been some terrible news surrounding Optus, TPG. Aussie Broadband, though, has also been downgraded.
Yeah, so this is equally interesting because it all relates back to Telstra. So there's a little bit of price matching competition going on between Optus and Telstra. So Telstra recently has revised its prices down a little bit. Still higher than the rest, because Telstra is able to command a premium, of course. And now the big discussion is going on in the financial market is like, how exactly is this going to impact on the likes of Superloop and Aussie Broadband? While some analysts are taking the view that it will not impact. These guys have a different offering, cheaper, and they can do whatever they want. In a rough term. And Macquarie has taken the view that no, Telstra changing its pricing schedules will sort of put a little bit of a limit on what Aussie Broadband and Superloop can do. So Macquarie has gone a little bit more cautious, and on that basis they've downgraded to more like a neutral hold rating, and you can sort of see that in the price chart, the result of that as well.
When it comes to rare earths, though, back in favour here. So Lynas in particular, what are we seeing?
Well, UBS actually went out in the bush, or in the desert, we should say, and they actually visited the Lynas operations in development, and they returned with increased optimism and increased forecasts, and hence, on top of the facility in Malaysia, of course, they have become more positive and they've upgraded to buy.
Rudy, I need to get your thoughts on NVIDIA too. I mean, there was so much concern over this. It's kind of almost like doubting your most reliable friend, right? And I like your post
yes.
on X. Today's question sent in from aliens in the space. What's changed? What's changed in your view?
There was also another posting which I thought was equally funny. Aren't we all happy that NVIDIA is not listed on the ASX? I mean, if anything, I think a lot of it can be explained by herd mentality and by human psychology. You always see the fact that a falling share price puts the fear of God in investors locally. Nobody wanted to buy those stocks like TechOne, Xero, WiseTech, you name it, because NVIDIA might disappoint, and other scary narratives that were doing the rounds. A lot can be explained by human psychology, I think. I mean, let's all rejoice in the fact that NVIDIA is not listed on the local stock exchange, and they have not disappointed. What that will do beyond the short term, I have no idea. But my view remains the same. I think there are absolute bargains available on this share market for people who can look beyond the scary narratives and have a little of a horizon that reaches further than the end of this year.
Yeah, really interesting point. I actually was reading from another regular guest on Ausbiz on LinkedIn, Andrew Weiland from DP Wealth, saying he was at a conference where they said, we are programmed to be negative back from the caveman days when we were hunting and gathering. But really interesting point you make about, we're kind of looking for this scary move to sell off. But more broadly, things, I guess, looking good today, Rudy.
Well, yes, but of course it's easy to be very optimistic on an up day, just as it is easy to be very negative on days that the market just doesn't wanna go along. I mean, on my observation, there's a lot of characteristics that we share with late 2016, and that if that characteristic remains correct, we should have low expectations for growth stocks and for AI and for quality. But as per always, the four wisest words in history are that this too shall pass eventually. That's the fifth one.
All right.
And I think it's good for all of us to keep that in mind.